Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies.
We're back, man. We're back. Finally, the Saints seemingly has made a decision on the offensive coordinator. Obviously, finally getting rid of Pete Carmichael, who's been there for a long time under Sean Payton and got a couple years to do it for himself. We're going to have a new offensive coordinator in New Orleans for the first time in a long time, and Clint Kubiak seems to be the guy. He's currently the passing game coordinator with the San Francisco 49ers. Obviously, they're going to be in the Super Bowl, so he has to coach one more game before they can make that official. But I like the hiring. I'll go into some things why I like it, why I don't like it. Or I'm not going to say why I don't like it. It's just some red flags that I may have, going into it. But let's go over Clint Kubiak, man. He got a job at NFL. Let's just get right to it. His dad gave him a job. And you could say that's a bad thing, a good thing. I'm indifferent on it. But hey, his dad gave him a job. If I was a coach in the NFL and my son wanted to coach, guess what? I'm going to give him a job as well. He was an offensive assistant with the Broncos for about 3 years. His dad, Gary Kubiak, gave him the job. So, hey, that's how he got to start. Bill Belichick did it with his son. It is what it is. That's like I said, that's neither here nor there with that. After that, he was the Vikings quarterback coach, Kirk Cousins over there for a season. Then was the offensive coordinator for the Vikings for a bit in 2021 as well. Then he went to the Broncos. In 2022, became the passing game coordinator and the quarterbacks coach. About 6 weeks left in the season, the Broncos were awful. Russell Wilson was awful, and he became over and took over the OC duties right there. Called some plays, so he does have some experience there. Does have a little bit of experience calling some plays, so that's going to be good for him. Obviously, you don't want a fresh face in there without having called plays in the NFL at all. So him getting that experience is good. It's going to be good. So some green flags we have about him. These are good things. I think that he's going to, help bring to the Saints. Number one, worked with good quarterbacks. You got Kirk Cousins on your radar. You got Russell Wilson, whether you think he's awful now, whatever, it's still Russell Wilson. He's still, Hall of Fame quarterback. And you got Brock Purdy, even though it's for a year. You got those three quarterbacks on your resume. You've worked with all three of those guys, different systems. So that's really good, working with good quarterbacks. You can, take some of the good things you've learned from those quarterbacks and maybe they've learned from you and implement that with the Saints. After that, he's 36 years old. And this is the biggest green flag I have for him. I'm not an ageist or anything like that, but a 36-year-old man. I'm tired of the same guys getting the chance to be an offensive coordinator in this NFL, not getting it done. Bring in some fresh faces, bring in some new guys. Clint Kubiak, I'm 100% on board with a 36-year-old. Give him a chance. Give him a chance. Like I said, sink or swim. Give him a chance to do what he can do. 36 years old. That just brings in so much energy, so much new ideas, ideology. A lot of these old guys, they just go with what they know. And what they know, it works for a certain point. But man, people are catching up. It's new things being done in the NFL. Teams are getting more creative all over the place. Young guy. Hopefully he gets the freedom, but we'll talk about that, to do what he wants. But I'm glad we got a young guy in there, a fresh, young guy. I think that's going to be big for the Saints. Also, he's in the 49 system under Shanahan. You can't ask for more than that. You can't ask for more than that. Shanahan's offense is, it's running rampant through the NFL. Everybody wants somebody off the staff. I feel like the Saints just said at getting a free agency, of coaching free agency, I guess you want to say. Once they fired Pete Carmichael, we need someone off the Rams staff or we need someone off the 49ers staff. I don't care if it's the run game coordinator, the pass game coordinator, the O-line coach, quarterback coach, the janitor, whoever. Someone on that staff with the 49ers and the Rams, we need in New Orleans. And I'm not going to say it's a bad strategy. Those two offenses have been really, really tough to stop. Looking at Cooper Kupp, you got Puka this year. Then obviously you got Brock Purdy going crazy with Ayuk going crazy, Kittle, whoever you want to name in these systems have been doing very, very well. So getting somebody from that Shanahan tree, I'll really take it. Now, some of the red flags. One is kind of a green flag and a red flag. It's the experience thing. Like I said, this young guy, which is one of my green flags, he's young. He's going to come in with some new ideas. Not that much experience, which is why it's a red flag as well, because he just doesn't have that much experience. 36 years old, called plays for about 6 weeks, but it is what it is. I'll rather that. I just need something new. But it's kind of a red flag if you're on the outside looking in, not being biased. But I don't think it's going to be that big of an issue, man. Game management and things like that, in-game situations, knowing how to do things. You'll learn those things, as you go. So you're gonna have to take some, some bumps and bruises on the way. But I think he'll be fine. I have to dive deep into, his coaching career a little later. But I do think it's a guy. Another red flag I do have, the Broncos. He's with the Broncos now. He called some plays for them 6 weeks. I will go through every last game. I promise you. I will go through every last play call of the Broncos for those 6 weeks he called. I would go watch those games, and I'll see what happened in those games, see if I like the play calling or whatnot, or the team was just terrible and the play calls didn't matter. So I'll definitely look into that. And also, I know we wanted somebody from Shanahan's system bad or the Rams system bad, but was it all Shanahan? He was only there for a year. He was the passing game coordinator there for a year. Is it, enough? Do we think he learned enough that year to come and be a Saints offensive coordinator? We're only going to find out. Now, I'll touch on some stuff I didn't write down, some stuff I'll just, go off top of the dome. Where would I think this would help the Saints? Now, obviously, everybody's going to point to Derek Carr. He's got to help the quarterback. He's been a passing game coordinator. He's been a quarterback coach. That's been his thing. So obviously, the quarterback and the receivers, they're going to like this. They're going to like this a lot. You got a guy that come in. He's a quarterback guy. He was also a receivers coach, I think, in college for a minute. So that's gonna help those guys out tremendously. But the one thing I think everybody's not mentioning, everybody's glossing over the fact, everybody's skipping is when you look at that Rams system and you look at that Shanahan system, the running back is special. The running back is special in those systems. Look at CMC in Carolina, was a really, really good player. Don't get me wrong. Really good in Carolina, was sometimes hurt. But when he got in that Shanahan system, skyrocketed, took off. He was totally different player. Much, much better. The best, obviously the best running back in the NFL right now. Not even close second right now. He's just doing that well. Had whatever game, touchdown streak. The running backs in that system. You look at the Rams system with Williams this year. That's a no-name guy coming in and dominating in the NFL when he played every week. The run game is so much more creative. You got so many run designs that are going on and not just running right down the middle, which we like to do. Not just one motion. You have multiple pre-snap motions in these systems that I think he can bring to this team. Like if a team's in zone coverage or a matchup zone and you got a guy goes in motion, guess what that does? That changes people's responsibilities. And when you change people's responsibilities, people get confused, especially when you motion one guy, then you motion that guy back, then you send another guy. The Rams, the 49ers, they do that a lot. The Saints, we never do it. We just send one guy in motion. Bowden, you go in motion, we're going to run it right up the middle. You're not really changing anything. So I think the motions on the offense will help because they definitely will do it. 49ers motion a lot. Whatever look they come out in to start the play, they probably won't run it. They probably won't end up there when the ball is snapped unless you're in hurry up or something like that. The Saints, usually how we line up is how we're going to run the play. So I think that's going to help. Hopefully he learned enough to implement those things. Obviously, you're going to bring your own sauce, your own thing, to the team. Things you probably didn't like with the 49ers, things you didn't like with the Broncos, and do it your way. And we'll see what happens. I know one thing. This is probably the last chance for Dennis Allen. So I hope it's a good hire. I hope it's a really good hire because if he falls flat on his face, you fall flat on your face. This will be your last year. We know that. I'm not going to say it's a fact, but 3 years is probably enough. I don't care what Mickey Loomis said in that press conference that we got a good coach. He wins 7 or 8 games again this year. I think he's out of there. That's just my opinion on that. But we won't get into that because that's a long ways away from now. That's the guy. It's not official yet, but I'm pretty sure it's going to get done. Now I'm going to go dive into those games. And see what happens. Let's see if he, called some good plays out there, or let's see if he didn't. We'll see. I do like the hire just because it comes from the Shanahan tree, and I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. We'll just see how this goes. I'm hoping for the best. Obviously, I'm hoping for the best, but I have no idea. It's going to be his first real chance to design his offense the way he wants to. So you're going to have Derek Carr. You know what you're coming into with that. I just need Dennis Allen to let him cook. Dennis Allen, get away from the offense. I don't want your input. On his offense. Let this man Kubiak do what he do. He's come from a football background. He's been under some real good coaches. He's played with, coached some real good quarterbacks. Now let him go. Let him sink or swim right with you. Obviously, you got to still be involved. You're the head coach. I get it. But man, we really don't need your input. I'm sorry. You're a defensive guy. And I think him trying to put his input on offense kind of let the defense down this year. Focus on your defense. Get that right. Get that back to elite how it was. And then let the offense just run on. Let the offense do what it do. We don't really need your input on that side of the ball, man. And special teams, hey, we ain't even got to get to that. But I do think it's Dennis Allen's last chance. I'm glad the offensive coordinator is getting a chance because guess what? If the offense is great this year, let's say the offense is great, but the defense is bottom 5 in the league, you might get a chance to be a head coach. offensive coordinators are getting chances to be head coaches really, really fast in this league. So if you're a good offensive coordinator, I promise you, you're going to get a chance. Look at Ben Johnson. Look at all these offensive guys. Look at the Texans. They want a lot of people off their staff. If you're a good offensive coordinator in the league that wants to score points, you'll get a chance to be a head coach in the NFL. So he's going to come out, obviously, do his best, try to get this offense where it needs to be. Derek Carr should be smiling. Elvin Kamara should be smiling. Kendrick Miller, Jamal Williams. A bunch of people on this offense should be happy. It's definitely an upgrade, in my opinion, over P. Carmichael already, just because that was a shit show. We knew that wasn't going to work. So we'll see. We'll see. I'll dive into him some more, see what happens. I'm definitely going to start getting to the Senior Bowl and this draft stuff very, very soon. But we're back. Just needed the offensive coordinator at first. Now we got one. Now it's time to get this offseason rolling, man. Thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, it's the Boot Tragedies. I'm out.
Last time. Let's make it the greatest